Hey everybody. This is a quick video sort of giving some commentary on the recently posted instructions for the final essay upcoming in this course. Wanted to unpack some of the things in those instructions, emphasize a couple of points, invite questions, always questions. And towards the end of the video, after speaking about the final research essay, I also want to make a few comments of gratitude, I think is the best way to say it. Just really thank you guys as my first class doing this course for the experience and the learning that you've given me. I want to give a special sort of thank you and shout out to those of you who completed the course evaluations for the first half of this course. Those evaluations have recently been disseminated and the feedback is really helpful and so essential. So I'd like to, just give a bit of a message of thanks about that towards the end, and also hopefully give some of you some affirmation in that some of the constructive criticism jives with my own sense of what has or hasn't worked so well about this course and will inform the way I revise it for next year. So that's been great. Pertaining to the final research essay, the information, the specific detailed information that is in this sheet shall be considered authoritative in case of any discrepancy between this sheet and the syllabus. But I'm going to go in right away and try and make sure that the syllabus is accurate to all of these details. But this more recent publication is the thing. This final paper is a research paper. It's meant as an opportunity for you to explore an author, a work, a trope, a topic of interest to you, either in greater breadth or greater depth. And I can say from experience for sure that you remember most vividly from a course what you write about actively. The things that you did assignments on, that's the stuff that's going to stick with you more than anything else, for the most part. Every now and then you read a poem and it just like clobbers you over the head, or a book. But yes, so students will formulate their own topics for this essay, and because I know that in a lot of cases you guys aren't necessarily like versed in what the different options or formats even are for a research essay, it's one of the reasons that I've created a sort of requirement where I want each and every one of you to email me, contact me no later than June 24th, and present your sort of pitch your proposed topic and a hypothesis or a research question, something like this is the argument that I think I'd like to make, or this is the question that I'd like to explore. And then you and I can have a little discussion about it, make sure that your topic is really well defined and that there's an appropriate plan for the sort of format or essay approach that will serve that project well. That your research question is clearly defined and that it's the right size for the amount of time and space that you have, within the strictures of the assignment. Really just kind of like a little planning connection moment so that you're set up for success in undertaking this project that you would like to conduct. And that information is outlined under assignment in brief. There's a part A, which is about the part where you present your topic and your hypothesis, and we kind of work on that. And then the part B is sort of the breakdown of like what this essay is meant to do. Using the reading and writing skills you've been building through this course, write a thoughtful, well-organized essay that systematically illuminates your topic or answers your research question. Besides primary texts, whatever kind of course texts you're particularly working on, your works cited page should include at least 3 reputable scholarly sources. This is a research essay. It's meant to sort of send you out into the world of commentary and scholarship that's been done on your topic so that you can draw on that information to inform your own thinking and build up an argument or an opinion. Just scanning through for anything else here that really needs commentary. Yeah, I've given some examples in the description of like different sort of formats or approaches you might take with the topic. You might pick one single work and just really kind of try and do a deep dive on it, pursue a question that you have about it, or an argument that you want to make about it. One student this past week noted that there were different editions of one of the poems that we had been reading. I believe it was P.K. Page's poem After Rain. And in the capital letter concepts video posted earlier today, we also talked about how John Donne's poem Death Be Not Proud from last term, it has different editions. You might do an essay that compares different editions, or little variants in the same poem. That would be considered, kind of working on one text, or you might take one of the novels that we went through at lightning speed in this course and think about a character or a theme or some symbolism in that novel that really grabbed you. Maybe you didn't get to finish the novel and you'd like to spend a bit more time with it, and just really kind of do a bit of a plunge into some bite-sized but engaging topic to you that pertains to that text. You could opt for something more like a compare and contrast style essay, where you take two different works and hold them up together to examine how they use or deal with a particular theme or a device or a character type or something like that. You don't have to stick to only course texts. It may be that one of the course texts kind of has natural connections for you to certain other texts or other poems that you'd like to sort of bring into dialogue with it. Or maybe you loved one of the poems that we read by a certain author and you want to look at other poems that they've written and see if there's some line of connection between, certain poems that this author has written, and then sort of, do a little case study of the relationships. I know many of you in recent weeks, several of you have been quite taken with E. Pauline Johnson, and we covered just one poem by her, but she wrote lots. Those are all different kinds of options that you might pursue. You don't have to know exactly which format is best when you pitch your topic to me. That's something that we can discuss so that you feel confident of the approach that you want to take. And I'm going to try not to be too prescriptive, say like you should do it this way, but I will try to understand your goals and what you'd like to be able to do in this essay, and then recommend strategies or approaches that might work best. I think I've said a few times in feedback to the different assignments that we've had on this course, the ALC, or the Academic Learning Center, is a really great resource for getting draft feedback ahead of submitting a final draft for this course. If through the course you've been struggling, kind of getting dinged on things like your basic level grammar, your writing composition, or the organization, the way you're able to kind of get your thoughts in a fluid train on the page or something like that, those are things that the ALC can really help with when you're towards the end of your drafting stage and getting close to submission. They can help you really refine it. The other thing that I do want to remind you of as you're trying to think about, where this is a research essay and what background sources should you be consulting, for one thing, I'm more than happy to try and recommend resources if I'm able to, if I know about resources that pertain to your text or your topic. Always happy to help in that regard. But remember too, the librarians are your friends. Librarians are our friends. Say it with me, librarians are our friends. They're extremely skilled, knowledgeable people. They love to help, they love to be consulted, and all too frequently are not asked for help about, where can I find good information on this kind of topic? And they know an encyclopedic amount of things. I really think that's about it as far as commentary on the details of this assignment. The sheet, as I said, is in the Files tab. Please, 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 if you have any questions at all, do reach out, and I will try to answer your questions as best I can. Right. Coming back to the question of course feedback. I am an oldest child, and my parents were kind enough when I was growing up to be really straight with me about the fact that first children, parents are always kind of cutting their teeth. They're getting their practice, they're making their mistakes and doing their learning on the first child in so many ways. You folks are that first child that has to kind of put up with the bumps and jolts and lack of smoothness that comes with a teacher's learning process. This is a new course prep for me. It's a new build. It's my first time delivering it. It's also my first time teaching an online model an online model. There are so many things about this course that have been clean slate, don't know how it's going to go. I'm trying to make educated guesses as I'm planning it, and I'm adapting the course delivery approaches on the fly as best I can based on student feedback. So I really, really am grateful to all of you, one, for tolerating that fact, the fact that I'm new to this, that this course is new. Sorry, lost my train of thought ever so slightly, as I'm sure you also did. Undergrad is such a stressful time. The workload is really hard, and that makes the stakes higher when your instructors themselves are learning, or when a new prep course is kind of finding its groove. And I really, really am grateful to all of you for your patience, and especially to those of you who have been proactive in providing feedback or asking questions or expressing what's helpful, what works, what doesn't, what you need. That has been essential. A few trends in the feedback, and you should be reminded, all of this feedback was anonymous, so I don't know who said what. I'm just getting a general sense of the feedback on this course. And some things are resonating with my sense of it also. There was a fairly recurrent sense of like, the reading is too heavy. And I think that's fair. There are several places on the syllabus in retrospect where, coming up to next year, I'll be thinning it down. There are a couple of places where, instead of trying to cover a large text or topic just in the span of 1 week, I'm going to try and spread it out a little bit, give people an extra beat on that. So you can sort of pat yourselves on the shoulders for being the ones who survived the harder, jankier, less refined first version of this course. And I do appreciate the feedback that will make this hopefully more effective for future students. The fact that Zoom lectures and being able to gather for lesson times, and that those lectures were recorded and posted, the fact that that was valuable to a lot of you, that is so helpful to know, especially as I'm learning better and better how to do online models, what kinds of learning resources students need, and how to sort of develop my sense of the ways that it's different from in-person teaching in order to resource all of you better. That was really, really helpful. Trying to think if I thought there was one other theme. I think there was a little bit of a theme that the grading is tough, but the feedback on assignments is ample, and that's appreciated. I am glad to hear that the feedback is useful. And trying to calibrate my own sense of toughness in grading and how appropriate it is to the first year level, that has been something that I've been working on all term, and kind of speaking to other professors about, to try and get a sense of how everything compares, and inevitably I won't have nailed it this first time. But what I can say is that you guys have risen to the challenges of this course. Overall, there are so many of you who have made really measurable strides in your writing ability, in the ways that you're able to look at texts with a penetrating eye and mine out different kinds of insights, the kinds of questions that you come prepared to ask about different texts. I am so impressed. And That is a trend that I have seen among my students, both official and unofficial, because I did a whole bunch of private tutoring and stuff through undergrad and all the rest of it. That is a trend that I have seen in my students for years, is that even if it starts out quite tough, the leaps in improvement are pretty marked. So while I'm sure that nothing can recompense you all for the gray hairs and heart palpitations and sleepless nights that that some of the flaws in this course have caused you, I really do hope that that the benefits of it, whether to your writing, to your reading, or even simply to your ability to just like say om and get through it, I hope that that serves you well in your futures as undergrad students and as professionals. Thank you again, ever so humbly from the bottom of my heart. I have enjoyed teaching this course to the nth degree. It has been so much fun, and I really am looking forward to teaching it again next year. And I look forward to finishing the rest of this term with you guys and kind of, trying to get a sense of how these last few modules unfold, how the final essay goes, all of those things. It's been a treat to meet and to read work from all of you. Thanks very much. See you soon.